in We Really Do Hate Our Customers news, this is a story about Lenovo being caught with their hands in the cookie jar again. So earlier this year we had this issue about SuperFish being pre-installed on Lenovo systems, but at least you could get rid of SuperFish. But this time around, Lenovo really one-upped themselves because they've laced the malware within the BIOS, so even if you reinstall Windows, you just end up with all back on there. Well done, that's pretty good work of them. So there's a couple of stories about it. So there's one here on Hacker News, which is a bit more simple, and we've got a more detailed explanation on the register. So just take a look at the overview of it. So it's a feature known as the Lenovo Service Engine, which is code present in the firmware of the BIOS. So if Windows installed, the LSE automatically download and installs Lenovo's own software during boot uptime before the Microsoft system is launched. This is done with administrator rights. And notice it only works with Windows, so if you have Linux or BSD or another operating system on there, it doesn't matter, it's not affected. The malware would just sit in the BIOS not doing anything. So even if you uninstall or delete Lenovo's own programs, the LSE is hidden in the firmware and will automatically bring them back as soon as you power on and reboot your machine. So what the programs do varies between different systems for desktops or laptops. So for desktops it's not quite as lethal, it just exposes your privacy about your system. So it includes the model, date region and system ID and sends all that all back to Lenovo. But for laptops it installs this one key optimizer. This is it here, a 33 meg file for optimizing your system. Yeah, right. So it supposedly extends the battery life and also keeps the firmware and drivers and pre-installed apps up to date. Yeah, I'm sure. Why did it need to be 33 meg though? That's absolutely bloated and unrealistic and completely over the top to what it should be. I would expect something like that to only be, what, a couple of megabytes at the most? It's ridiculous. So calling the one key optimizer crapware, that's pretty reasonable really. But it's been noticed by this researcher that the whole LSE comes with a lot of security issues, including the ability then to gain admin rights over the system. So yeah, once again we have crapware that just completely does away with the security of your system. Quite frankly, I'm thinking that why don't Lenovo just disable the firewall on their systems and ban any firewalls from being installed and ban any antivirus from being installed, because that's kind of what they're doing here. Let's just prevent user security. Yeah, just go for the Swiss cheese model of security, leaving it as full of holes as possible. So there is a method of removing this Lenovo Rootkit. So you can do a search for this Lenovo LSE Windows Disabler tool. So just do a Google search for that. And yeah, we get a result here for the Lenovo website. And you can download and run this tool here. Oh, it's quite small, 100 kilobytes. Yeah. That's a bit more of an efficient sized file, and it was released at the end of July, so that was only a couple of weeks ago. I also noticed in the news that there's this story here on the register, so that was today as well, that Lenovo have had to axe 3,200 workers as their profits shrink. So the pre-income profits have dived 80% as fewer people, well, they're saying find cash for PCs, but I would expect, given Lenovo's reputation now, that it's absolutely ruined, so people are just not going to buy computers from them. Quite frankly, that's my opinion now. I just wouldn't go near a Lenovo computer at all, and if someone gave me one, hell, I would just throw it in the bin. Now, I'll probably sell it, really, just to gain a bit of money from it. But, yep, their brand is utterly tarnished, and it's a shame that they've also bought Motorola as well, because, to me now, Motorola mobile phones now are considered at risk. We don't know what they've done with them, considering what they've done with their laptops and desktops. Not saying they've done anything, but hey, there's a risk they could have done. So, yep, I'm not going near Motorola mobiles either. Shame, really. But I have to keep their nose clean for some years now before I'll consider them as a serious manufacturer again. So that's the story about Lenovo installing rootkits on their own systems. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all later.